Please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback helps make the content better. I walked into the house right as my wife, Jenna, lowered her phone like it burned. The screen faced the table. She fumbled a smile. "Wrong number," she tossed out, already sliding the phone into her pocket. "Wrong numbers don't usually say your name," I replied, toeing off my boots. The hall light still blinked from the broken switch I'd promised to replace. "Who was it?" "Relax, Mark," she sang breezy. "A client of Paige's. They called me by mistake." I set my keys in the bowl and watched her pretend to reorganize the mail. Her laugh was an octave higher than usual. The music app on the speaker showed a pause symbol. She'd stopped at mid-track, not turned it down. Panic, not courtesy. She avoided my eyes, dug for a pen that was already in her hand, then shrugged and wandered toward the kitchen. "Fine," I told her. "Just looked like you were about to swallow the phone." "Funny," she muttered, pouring water into a glass. "You're in a mood." I wasn't. I was noting details. The way a floorboard creaks you've walked over 1,000 times and now sounds unfamiliar. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have changed the locks on my Goodwill that night. I leaned on the doorway. "So Paige gave your number to clients now?" "She posted it on the invite for the charity thing," Jenna said, too fast. "We're a team." "She posted my wife's personal number," I repeated, as if tasting it. "Got it. Do you want dinner or a debate?" She raised a brow. "I've got energy for one." "Dinner's fine," I told her. "I'll make eggs." She clinked the glass, smiled at nothing, and went back to her phone with her back to me. That was the first pebble. The slide didn't make noise yet, but it started. The next evening she told me she'd be out with the girls. I nodded, cleaned the grill, and checked the calendar. 2 nights out that week already. I rearranged my Thursday. We usually met friends for trivia at Murphy's. I texted Nate, my oldest friend. "Can't make Thursday. Shifted to shop hours at night. Catch up Saturday?" He wrote back, "What's up? Just tightening things. I'll call." At work the next morning, Lisa from the front office leaned against my doorway, sipping bad coffee. "Your wife emailed about the invoice for the church. Wants it sent to her personal instead of the shared. She said you were swamped." "That's new," I answered. "Send both." "You okay?" Lisa asked. "You look like you're counting dominoes." "Just taking inventory," I said. That night Jenna dressed fast, hair done like she was interviewing. She hovered by the mirror with a smile-sized mask. "Don't wait up," she tossed, light as a feather. "When's the last time Paige called our landline?" I asked, tying a trash bag. Jenna froze a beat. "Who uses landlines, Mark?" "So never." She tilted her head. "Is there a point?" "Curiosity," I answered. "If her clients are calling you, they might call here too." "I told you, wrong number." "Why are you circling this?" I tossed the bag into the bin. "Because patterns matter." She slipped on her coat. "You sound exhausting." "Go have fun," I told her, and kissed the air near her cheek. She flinched like I'd offered a bill. The door clicked. I sat at the table with a legal pad. I wrote dates. Times she went out with the girls. Times she came back late and smelled like someone else's cologne. No, not smell. More like a trace of a new detergent that wasn't ours, and the way she wore a cardigan home in spring. Different earrings back on the dresser in the morning. A 2-inch change. That's all it ever is. 2 inches at a time. At midnight I texted Nate. "You up?" He called. "Talk to me." Jenna's schedule got creative, I said. "Different stories, small slips. I'm not pointing a finger yet. I'm just setting up the chalk line. Want me to ask around?" Nate offered. "Paige and Jenna still hang with Melanie. Mel loves to narrate." "No," I told him. "No gossip. If there's truth, I'll find the adult version of it." "You sure?" Nate asked. "I'm not in the market for opinions," I replied. "I'm gathering facts." "Okay," he said. "I'm here. Saturday, ribs my place. Bring that old stubborn calm of yours. Count on it." When Jenna got home, she slid the bolts quiet as a librarian. I heard the closet door, the shower, the dryer, but she forgot to cancel. At breakfast, she was peppy. "Want pancakes?" she chirped. "I have a meeting," I said and poured cereal. "We need to clean up our money channels. Joint cards getting pulled for my work expenses." She blinked. "Since when?" "Since now," I said, setting my spoon down. "I'm closing gray areas. No reason the front office should get notes from you about invoices. Work stays at work." "That's controlling," she shot back. "That's clarity," I corrected. "Makes both of our lives simpler." She scoffed. Whatever helps you sleep. Boundaries help me sleep, I replied. You've been out a lot. I'll adjust too. I'm shifting my evenings to the shop and to friends. Less waiting for dinner that starts at 11. So you're punishing me. Scheduling, I said. It's efficient. She stared. For a second I saw a flash. Surprise, maybe respect. Then she smoothed it over. Fine, she said. Do what you want. I intend to. She cleaned up her cup and kissed my shoulder. Light, almost careful. I know I've been busy, she said softly. I'll make it up to you. We'll plan something. That would be new, I said, picking up my jacket. She laughed, softer this time. Okay, Mr. Efficient. Dinner Friday. Just us. No last-minute bail. Sounds good, I told her, watching her eyes. They flicked left, calculating calendar math I didn't have access to. Illusion number 1. The apology that slipped through like a scripted line. Friday at 6 she texted, rain check, work exploded, Paige needs me. I replied, handle it. We'll reschedule. No anger. Just a note in my head. She offered something once it cost nothing. Saturday at Nate's. The backyard smelled like charcoal and paint thinner from his kid's art project. He handed me a beer, the cheap kind he liked. You look like a man letting air out of the tires slowly, he said. Slow works, I answered. I wanted to roll to a stop where it should. Paige's husband, Trent, was there too. He's one of those cheerful guys who says too much. He slapped my shoulder. Jenna and Paige are killing it with that charity committee, he said. Out every week. Good for them. Must be a lot of planning, I said. Oh yeah, he grinned. Sometimes they split up. Divide and conquer. Paige takes down donors. Jenna handles set design, atmosphere, all that. Late nights. I nodded. Late nights. Trent didn't notice the way Nate glanced at me. He kept talking about his grill. At the table, I put my fork down. Trent, I asked, who's the guy that's been helping with their venue? I heard there was a consultant. Trent shrugged. I don't know. Some logistics guy, I think. Jen mentioned someone. Evan. Even. I'm not sure. Evan, I repeated. I cleaned my plate, then sent a note to Lisa. Know a reliable private investigator? She replied in 5 minutes with a name and a number. Cal Parker. Discreet. Did great by my cousin. Don't tell him I recommended if you want distance. I saved it. I wasn't ready to dial. I wanted one more scene. On my terms. Sunday, I cooked early and set 2 plates. Jenna breezed in, phone glued to her palm. We're late for Melanie's birthday, she said, grab-and-go energy. You didn't forget, did you? I'm not going, I told her. I left a card on the table. I'm done playing the couple who arrives late everywhere. She stiffened. You're staying home to make a point? Staying home to eat the dinner I made at a normal hour, I said. If you want to go, go. Enjoy. That'll look great, she said. Me showing up alone. Then invite your team, I answered. Whoever's on schedule tonight. She stared at the plates. You're changing plans without asking. I'm changing my plans, I said. That's allowed. She picked up her keys and tossed them back. You're being petty. I'm being punctual, I said. And Saturday, do you want asparagus or not? She stood, wavering. Then she softened. Let me call Mel and push an hour, she said. I'll help you clean up. Illusion number 2, the gentle pivot. She called, put it on speaker. We'll swing by later, she told Melanie. Traffic. She sat. We ate. She asked me about work with interest that looked practiced. I answered, but I didn't fill space. After dinner, she took my plate and washed it without a word. I booked a couple's massage next Saturday, she said, drying her hands. It's on me. I know I've been away a lot. I heard you. You did, I said. Good. She smiled, relieved. For a second, I almost let it land. Then her phone lit up upside down on the counter. A preview flashed a name, Evan. She flipped the phone. Too late. Our eyes met. She tried a joke. Spam calls use real names now, who knew? Yeah, I said, voice flat. Who knew? I called Cal Parker Monday morning from my truck outside the shop. He picked up on the third ring. Parker, I need facts, I told him. No drama. My name's Mark. My wife's Jenna. I can text you a photo. Scope, he asked. Discretion, I said. If there's nothing, I want nothing. If there's something, I want names, dates, and enough to retire any debate. He grunted approval. Text me her schedule anchors, any patterns you've noticed. Give me 3 days. I'll give you 1, I said. Expedited costs extra. Bill me, I answered. Send it to the shop, not the house. Done, Parker said. You'll hear from me tomorrow. I hung up, then stepped into the shop where Lisa was counting parts. I'm shifting payroll day, I told her. Wednesday mornings now. I'm also pulling my card off the joint account. I'll set up transfers for the household bills. I want clean lines. Got it, she said, not missing a beat. Anything else? Put the shop phone on Do Not Disturb after 6, I said. Emergencies can text. The rest can wait. She smirked. New rules. You're good at rules. They keep things standing, I replied. That night Jenna announced. I'm staying at Page's to finish the program booklet. We'll be back late. Have fun, I answered. Leave the car, I need it early. She tilted her head. I already planned to take it. Plans changed, I said. I'll call you a car if you need one. Unbelievable, she scoffed. Predictable, I corrected. She stared at me, then tried gentler ground. I could stay if you want. We could watch that documentary you like. You said you'd be out, I said. Stick to your plan. She grabbed a different purse than usual. That purse returned home with her at 2, but lighter. And I didn't ask. I wasn't fishing anymore. I had a net in the water. Parker texted at 10:37 the next morning. Check your email. Fax enclosed. There they were. Photographs taken from far enough to be tactful and close enough to be clear. Time-stamped. A name, Evan Morse. An address across town near the old theater. Dates aligned perfectly with her girls' nights. A message without adjectives. Contact occurs repeatedly at these locations. Subject and Mr. Morse enter residence at 10:12 p.m. and exit at 1:48 a.m. That was enough. More than enough. I printed the file and slid it into a manila folder. Then I scheduled an appointment with a lawyer I trusted not to grandstand. We went through the logistics. No courtroom play, no speeches, just papers and signatures. Clean exit. I didn't want fireworks. I wanted closure. At home I cooked. Jenna floated in later than usual, humming, eyes bright. Hey, she said. You're in a good mood. I'm steady, I answered. She poured wine. Guess what? The committee got a major donor. She flashed a smile I used to love. It's happening. Congratulations, I said. Take a photo with the check. Frame it. You're funny. I'm honest. She sipped, then reached. You know, I'd like us to book a weekend away after the event. Just us. We can reset. I've been stretched thin. Keep your Saturday open, I told her. We'll handle our reset then. She blinked. Saturday, I repeated. She smiled, faint and cautious. Her eyes darted. Okay. Wednesday I stopped by Nate's auto bay after hours. He was under a hood, music low, sleeves up. You got what you needed, he said, reading my face. Enough, I answered. You going to confront? He asked. Not in a scene, I said. I'll deliver clarity. Then I'm done. He tightened a bolt. How can I help? Be reachable, I said. And if I ask you to hold something for a week, just say yes. You got it, Nate said. You're a rock, man. Don't let her turn you into sand. I'm already out of the tide. On my way home, I stopped at the hardware store for a deadbolt and a set of blanks. I bought a simple lock, solid, no smart anything, and slid it into the passenger seat. That felt like lifting a weight off my back. Not drama. Logistics. Thursday, Jenna came home early for once. She set her bag down and put both hands on my shoulders. This was the old Jenna, the one from our early years. I miss you, she said softly. I'm sorry I've been distracted. After this event, I want to recommit to us. You told me that, I replied. And I mean it. I'm listening, I said, but I didn't move closer. She rubbed my arm, then pulled me to the couch. Just sit with me. 10 minutes. No phones. We sat. She leaned into me like it was the most natural thing in the world. For 10 minutes. Then her phone buzzed in her purse. She didn't move. Another buzz, longer. She still didn't move, and she looked proud of that. I almost smiled at the performance. I'm here, she said. I see you, I answered. Her eyes glistened in a way that used to move me. Now it made me think of stage lights. At minute 11, she checked her phone. Just Paige, she said. Crisis. Of course, I said. Friday I picked up the manila folder from my desk and tucked it into my nightstand. I also slid a stack of papers beside it. No flourishes, just printed forms with names and lines. My name. Her name. I had planned to hand them to her Saturday evening. Clean, adult, calm. Then Friday night, at 9:40, she texted, staying out late. Don't wait up. I asked one sentence. You coming home tonight? She replied at 11:12. I'm not required to report my location. I'm not your property. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Then I put the phone face down. A clean, adult, calm plan still worked. It just moved from evening to morning. I got up, pulled her suitcase from the closet, and began folding. Not a rage fold. A hotel fold. Dresses, jackets, shoes, her favorite robe. I loaded toiletries into a zip bag. I stacked the suitcases by the front door. Then I removed her key from the hook and replaced the deadbolt. The metal settled into place with a firm, ordinary click. I sat on the couch and put on a baseball game. Fell asleep to the crowd noise. At 7 a.m., metal scraped the front door. The wrong key. Another scrape, harder. A pause. Then knuckles. Firm. Again. I stood, stretched, and opened the door. Jenna stood there, hair tangled, mascara faded, jacket half on. She looked past me at the suitcases. What is this? She demanded. Why isn't my key working? I smiled. No pleasure in it, just politeness. I'm not required to let you into my house, sweetheart. You're no longer my wife. Her face went slack. What did you do? What I should have done when respect left the room, I said, nudging the suitcases onto the porch with my foot. I'm done living in a place where I'm treated like furniture. You don't get to decide that alone, she snapped, hands flaring. You can't just. I can, I answered, and I closed the door. She pounded. Open this door. You can't just kick me out. Where am I supposed to go? I watched the handle rattle and breathed steady. A minute later, I remembered the folder. I opened the door 6 inches. Apologies, I said, and handed her the manila packet. Explanations inside. I forgot to give it to you earlier. My mistake. She took it mechanically. I added the papers beneath it. There's also a signature page. You'll see a name and an address attached to your evening hobby. Consider it context. Her mouth trembled. She glanced down and saw the first page, saw the cover photo of a street corner she knew. The anger leaked out like a slow puncture. She didn't speak. She turned, lifted a suitcase, and walked down the steps without drama. I closed the door and engaged the new lock. I sat back on the couch. The game wasn't on anymore. I watched the still screen like it had a story of its own. She didn't knock again. People think the silence after a decision is peace. It isn't, not at first. It's the sound of structure settling. I spent that weekend on logistics. I canceled the couple's appointments. I set up an account in my own name for everything that wasn't the mortgage. I told Lisa to reroute any household bills. I called my contractor friend to price a small fence for the backyard, one I'd wanted, that she always vetoed. Jenna called Sunday night. I let it go to voicemail. Mark, she said, her voice thin, we don't have to do this. We can talk. I made mistakes, but you can't just erase years. Please call me. I didn't. Monday, she sent a long message about dignity and forgiveness. Tuesday, it was shorter and meaner. Wednesday, it was smaller. Then it stopped. At work, Trent cornered me. Melanie said you wouldn't talk to Jenna, he said, like it was a confession. That's accurate, I told him, stacking boxes. Man, just meet her for coffee. Hear her out. What would that change? I asked. He opened and closed his mouth. People fix things, he said. Things that aren't broken at the core, I answered. This is broken at the core. He shook his head and wandered off. Nate walked in with a bag of sandwiches. You look lighter, he said, passing me one. I am, I replied. I adjusted the load. We ate on the stoop. Nate chewed thoughtfully. You gonna sell the house? He asked. No, I said. It's mine. I like the morning light in the kitchen. I'll fix the hall light next. You still coming to softball Thursday? He asked. I am, I said. I'm back on the team. Thursday evening, I showed up early to the field. New guys had joined. One of them, Greg, shook my hand too long. You're the guy that runs the shop, he said. Heard good things. From who? I asked. My sister used you, he said. Said you were all process. Process keeps cars on the road, I told him. And people? People? He asked, grinning. Long story. We played. It wasn't pretty, but it was simple. Afterward, we hit Nate's porch. Neighbors drifted by. Mr. Alvarez brought over a pan of something he couldn't pronounce in English. He patted my shoulder like we'd known each other forever. You look like you slept, he said. I did, I answered. No late calls. Jenna texted at midnight. I'm sorry. Call me, please. I wrote back one sentence. This number is now for logistics only. Contact Lisa for anything about the house. No insults. No commentary. Just rules. She replied with paragraphs. Then paragraphs turned to 3 dots. Then to nothing. 2 weeks later, I went to a support breakfast at the VFW hall. Not my scene, but Nate begged me to go. The coffee was awful. Pancakes were better. Men I didn't know told me stories without asking for mine. On the way out, a woman bumped into me. She had her hair pulled back and paint on her jeans. Sorry, she said, then smiled. Mark, right? I've seen your truck around. Maybe, I said. I'm not hard to track. I'm Claire, she said. I do staging for open houses. I'm at the corner of Edison and Main. If you ever need a second set of eyes on a build-out, call me. I will, I replied. No rush. I wasn't shopping. I had a fence to plan and a life to sand down to smooth edges. A month into the new rules, Jenna's friend Melanie caught me outside the grocery store. She hesitated, then stepped closer. She asked me to talk to you, Melanie said, twisting a set of keys. I told her it was a bad idea. But I'll say this. She knows she broke something she can't rebuild. I nodded. Then we agree. She wanted to know if you'd at least read her letter. I'm all done reading, I said. Tell her I hope she's okay. Melanie studied me. You're not the villain she paints. I didn't audition, I answered. Take care, Mel. I walked away and felt the simplest feeling I'd had in months. Clarity. Not relief. Clarity. Time did what it always does. It added distance. The shop landed a municipal contract because Lisa pushed the proposal I'd been too hesitant about. We hired a second tech. I bought a used boat with a motor that coughed and then, with enough care, purred. I fixed the hall light. Claire stopped by the shop one day to pick up her client's hatchback. She peered around. You finally put up shelves, she said. Looks good. Trying to make it look like I mean it, I said. You do, she replied. We took it slow. I took everything slow. We met for lunch at a diner with good pie and hideous chairs. She didn't ask about Jenna. I didn't ask about her past. We talked projects and materials and why cheap fixtures always cost more in the end. Adults talking about adult things. It felt like breathing normal air. I kept my lines with Jenna where they belonged. Her number sat in a muted folder labeled Utilities. Sometimes she sent a note about mail. Sometimes she sent an apology. I answered the first. I ignored the second. She tried one more time to get me to meet her. I didn't respond. A month later, Nate heard through someone that she'd moved to a small apartment closer to downtown, that the committee had replaced her, that Evan had switched jobs. That's all the detail I allowed into my life. I closed the door on the rest. One evening I sat on my porch, new fence shining pale in the streetlight, and watched a kid from 2 houses over learn to ride a bike. He wobbled, corrected, wobbled, corrected. His dad kept 2 fingers on the seat and then let go. The kid made it down the sidewalk and turned, surprised and proud. Nate texted a photo of his youngest covered in spaghetti sauce. He wrote, "Family dinner without you is boring. Come Sunday." I replied, "I'll bring dessert." Claire texted after, "I found a perfect mid-century sideboard for your living room. Wanna look?" I answered, "Yes. Bring coffee advice, too. Mine tastes like punishment." She replied, "On it." I went inside. The hall light didn't blink anymore. The bowl by the door held only my keys. The living room looked bigger, not because space had changed, but because the air had. You want a neat ending. People always do. They want to ask if I regret anything. I don't have that kind of relationship with the past. I did what I should have done the moment respect left. I wasn't loud. I wasn't cruel. I didn't campaign. I simply set my own boundary and enforced it with adult steps. Changed the schedule, separated the money, ended the rituals that had turned into excuses, and then opened the door at 7 a.m. without a speech. When I sleep now, it's because I went to bed, not because I wore myself out trying to convince someone to value me. There's quiet in that. Not peace right away, but quiet, which is the soil where peace grows. And if you're wondering about that folder, it's in the bottom drawer of my desk at the shop. Not because I need it. Because it reminds me that when your gut tells you something is off and the details keep agreeing, you don't go hunting for permission. You change the lock. You move the suitcases. You put the papers in someone's hand. Then you watch them walk down the steps and let the door close like a normal door. And you don't open it again.